welcome to the first session of Shadow of the Fey.
Yay!
Right, so we're starting out. You've all boarded a ship. This is more for Lilith, because Lilith didn't get a prologue session. She joined late on. So you're currently in the harbour at Alura, which is an elven city. I will bring up a picture for Lilith's sake when I can find it on here. Might help if I'm in the right one. It would, yeah. Prologue pics. Where is it? Location pics. There we are. Right, Laura. There it is. Right. Show to players. So you should be able to see that. So you're in the port there. You're on board a ship called Alura's Pride. You've all just boarded. Apart from Dubar and Rory, who arrived on this ship. So you've been on the ship constantly. You haven't had a chance to get off because it's basically it's pulled into harbour, it's loading up, and you're getting ready to go. So the last two to board the ship was Callista and Nameless. And you guys, I believe we ended your prologue session with you walking up the ramp and you seeing this muscular human on deck and a bald human with a shiny head. Looks like he's polished it.
It's blinding you.
Yeah, it's so shiny, it's blinding. And I will introduce you to the captain and whatnot in a minute, but I want to give you guys, because this is the first time that you're all together as a group, so I want to give you guys a bit of a chance now to describe your characters to each other and anything that you might want to reveal. So we will start. I need to swap. Apparently, Lilith and Dubar have changed positions, so I need to swap your names around.
On the YouTube side.
Yeah, on the YouTube side.
So
Okay. So we'll whoever wants to go first, go first.
I'll go first. You see, as you board the ship, a tall, muscular man, 6'2", 210 pounds of pure muscle. Long, flowing, like auburn locks, tan skin, brown eyes. Giant tattoo on his back of an eagle, spread right across his lats and shoulders. And but there's something about him that you notice where he doesn't quite look like the man he may have used to have been. He looks quite dry, quite veiny at the moment. A little bit
like
calm.
a dry muscular sponge.
Like a dry muscular sponge.
beautiful.
I do have a follow-up
Got
question.
stretch marks.
There's lots of stretch marks, yes.
Go ahead, Lauren.
I was gonna say, are you sure you're just not playing Fabio at this point?
Not quite. There is someone I am playing.
Is your character doing anything?
My character is leaning over the side of the boat, laughing with the rest of the rest of the crew.
And desperately trying to scratch his forehead, but his muscles get in the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like bulging.
This is what I'm gonna hate.
He doesn't have any weapons on him. He's wearing like a not a loincloth, like more like shorts, but he is shirtless. He is topless and wearing like a rough, like hunter's boots. And that's pretty much it. No weapons on him whatsoever. But you definitely definitely looks like he can handle himself. Very jovial, like I said, laughing with the rest of the crew members. But he kind of looks like he's also very much out of place and just really soaking in everything around him.
Okay, we'll move on to somebody else. I would like Lilith to go last because I want to introduce Lilith. So who's next?
I'll go next. So seeing as I've currently been on the ship a little bit longer than most people, I'm probably being shouted at to come down off the rigging because I'm trying to climb up to the top. I want to see what the hell's going on. All you see is this beacon of red, fluffy, big hair. And a green dress just flapping in the breeze as I'm climbing up the rigging and just going, laughing to herself.
Okay.
What race?
Elven. Definitely Elven, if not overly Elven.
I think this would be a good place to bring in Venera.
Yes. So she is very tall and slender and has flowing straight black hair all the way down to her waist and has a long bow flung over her back that she very much gives the impression she knows how to use. She feels like a huntress. She's got flashing golden eyes as she moves with the grace of someone who can handle herself and is trying to seem more relaxed right now than she currently is, watching this little red-headed thing run up down the rigging. So
Probably
maybe slightly less composed. Maybe slightly less composed at the moment than she would normally be. But yes, at least attempting to seem relaxed and in control of things.
Oh, and ahead of Maeve on the rigging is something that looks like a rodent just running up ahead of her.
Okay, who would like to go next?
I will. Rory Netbone. As your eyes adjust to the light shining off the top of Rory's head, you see a human. He has coppery brown eyes that glint in the sun. There isn't a hair on his head apart from his eyebrows and his eyelashes. He's olive-skinned. He's slightly shorter than Dubar at 5'11", and he weighs about 180 pounds. So he's not a small man, but he's not large, overly large. He has very smooth skin because he's only 25 years old. And he's administering to the crew of the ship. He's chatting to them, smiling, listening to their stories. You notice around his neck there is a holy symbol that is a hand clutching something.
Cool. Right, okay, so Callista or Nameless, which one?
I'll go. Stepping aboard, you see this man in... He nearly matches the barbarian's height, but that's only
Dubar.
Because of his riding boots. The heels on him lift him up a little bit. Otherwise, he's typically like around about 6 foot. Toned, but not like both biceps, standing over by the railing. And he's wearing a brigandine. I keep forgetting that. A brigandine that the left half is yellow. The right half is white. There's no other markings on it other than the coloring. And his breeches are also matched, but his riding boots are black and black gauntlets. With a long sword on his hip and a bracer on his left arm, his off But what's notable about him is that he is wearing also a black cloak and a mask covering his face, and the hood of the cloak is pulled over his head. So the only features that you really see of his face are a pair of blue eyes and a pale complexion from what you can see. And some of the crew try to speak to him, and all he does is just nod. He says nothing and just stands there and just slowly pans, scanning the whole deck of the ship like an owl. While in taking in the scene around him silently. The only sound is the clinking of his sword on his hip and his boots obviously on the deck.
Cool. Okay. Right, Callista, what does it see as you step on board?
Basically, behind Nameless, you see this kind of. She's not very tall, but she's not really short either. She's like 5'6". She's wearing scale mail armor, but she bravely has her hood off because she found this area was very accepting, and she wasn't even thinking about like, oh, maybe I should hide the horns that I have, but that's neither here nor there. Her horns kind of go like curve around her head. They have little dangles, like jewelry on them. Her eyes almost look human-like. They are, I already forgot the color eyes I gave her. We'll insert color here. Gray. They're striking gray eyes. Her scale mail's just run of the mill. It's black. And you would probably notice that it looks like I have a very like rusty, not really taken care of sword with me.
Oh,
Okay.
I will like to add though that my character, he looks like he does not have much money, but his equipment is exquisitely kept. There's, the only dirt that you see on him is the boots from walking on, obviously dirt paths and whatnot, just from traveling. But beyond that, he is pretty much immaculate. But his equipment does look a little worn. It's definitely been used.
Cool. Right, before we introduce Lilith, I'd like everybody except for Lilith to make a perception check.
I have so much dice in my dice bowl.
First roll of the game. And because it is Maeve's birthday coming up this week, Maeve can have a free crit either this session or next session. Technically, next session would be closer to your birthday, but I'll let you choose.
See what works.
That is another rule. When it's your birthday, or if there's a session, the closest session to your birthday, you will get a free crit on anything you want. But only one.
Are we actively perceiving, or is it passive?
You are actively perceiving at this point.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Could I ask Ithas for guidance?
Absolutely.
Ithas.
15 for me.
I got 12.
Right.
19.
5.
That makes sense. You're all hooded up and stuff.
22.
22. Right. Okay. Anybody who got above a 16, you notice a small gnome who's been stood behind Dubar this entire time. Now, this is obviously Lilith. Lilith will know Dubar and Rory, but I want Dubar and Rory to do a history check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Right.
How dumb are you?
I've still got guidance on me though for 10 turns, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
God. 4.
History.
4.
I'm pretty sure guidance is only for the next.
Well, it's fine for this. I'll let him get away with it for this.
Yeah, you're right. 10.
10. Right, okay. Rory, you're one of the ones that actually spotted her. You've got this kind of vague memory of someone like that being on your caravan, but you can't quite be sure. And now I'd like Lilith to introduce herself.
So, hi, I'm Lilith Capanel. I'm a gnome, as you can possibly see, but with red hair, dark green eyes, 3 foot. So easy to miss. A bit rough clothing, and has been hiding in the caravan for quite a while, which is why most of you have not paid attention, because I'm sneaky.
Very sneaky.
So what are you wearing?
I am wearing just normal.
So this is no. I want you to say that like Duba. I want you to say it like Duba too.
So what is the puny gnome wearing?
The puny gnome, who will kick your butt in a minute, is wearing just normal, everyday travelling clothing that is a bit dusty. No armour, has a staff, has a dagger. That's it.
Okay.
So I've managed to survive this far.
Excellent. So, as the newcomers, as the newcomers have boarded the ship, this does not include Dubar, Rory, or Lilith because they've been on the ship for a few weeks. With the rest of you, the captain comes over to greet you, and I will give you a picture.
Oh God.
No, I actually sent the entire thing accidentally. It should have just been that. Show this
What
one.
the fuck is that?
Don't worry about that. Captain Aaron Starfrost. You should be seeing. I've just plopped it up again. I shared the entire folder instead of just the picture, but it's fine because these are all guys that were in the prologue anyway. So,
they all look like they're on a ship, so it's fine.
Oh, is it? Alright, he's a sea elf.
Yes. So he's blue skin, blue hair, blue eyes. He's very well dressed, wearing a green cloak. He's got a holy symbol around his neck. It's not the medallion that you see in the picture. The symbol around his neck is it looks like an ammonite. And he walks over. He's very well spoken, and he looks to the newbies and he says, "I'm Captain Starfrost of Alura's Pride, one of the best ships in all of the Elven fleet. May I welcome you aboard?" You see, following him, there is a rather scruffy-looking fellow. You should be able to see that picture. Ivan, yes. He gestures to him and says, "This is Ivan. He's the first mate." And he just looks at everybody with a squint and doesn't speak. His beard is just like swaying. It's that long. His clothes look scruffy, but you could tell at one point they were quite fine clothes. You know, they're not cheap clothing by any means. They've just not been well looked after. Obviously, a man who he wears it for work because, you know, all clothes, everything's got to be sort of utilitarian. He says, "If you follow the first mate Ivan here, he'll show you down to some quarters. We'll be setting sail within the hour." And Ivan just looks at you. It's like, Aye. Follow me. and he starts tramping off. He takes you all below decks. Again, except for Rory, Dubat, and Lilith, unless you want to follow. You don't have to. You guys have already you're already quartered on the ship.
I'm not.
You're still up in the rigging, yeah. Of course you are. So Ivan, he sort of looks around. He looks up and goes, we've got a new ship's hand, have we?" He's looking up.
Please forgive my companion for a moment. Goes and screams, "Maeve, get down here! For goodness sake!"
Away! I'm having some fun.
Get down.
You know, you're so boring.
I know. Get down.
I'll just sort of like floatily skip sort of down.
Okay, as you approach, Ivan looks at you and says, "So you know much about ships, lady?"
No. I'm here to learn.
Well, I'm sure we can find some work to do on the voyage.
That'd be fun.
So he leads you below decks and he starts pointing out rooms. If does anybody want to bunk together? I'm not really going to force you into anything at this point.
I'm happy to bunk with someone.
I mean,
Well, you guys are already bunked.
Any of the females is fine.
I mean, I would have been hiding quite a lot. No one paid attention to me before. I'll have found myself somewhere to sleep.
I mean, the normal do me. That's fine.
No thanks. Shut up.
Yeah, he's more than twice your height.
Any of the females is fine.
I'm keeping an eye on Maeve, thank you very much.
Okay, so
I fully interlocked arms with like, come on in! Walking straight.
Rory celibate.
Okay, so Maeve and Van want to bunk together. Nameless, he takes you to down the corridor to the bunks that are shared by most of the men on the ship, and he sort of points it out. He says, "You look like you used to sleep in a bit more rough and ready. Will this be all right?"
He looks at the space for a moment, and then he goes over, and there's a few barrels, and he just kind of pushes them out enough, rolls them out enough so that there's like space. Drops his saddle, which hits the deck with a big bang on the deck at the against the bulkhead, and nods and dumps his rucksack there. So he has like his own like little private corner amongst, in the common area, but he's like up in the corner with the barrels as kind of like a shield.
Yeah.
Privacy.
Okay. Don't say much, you, do you? Never mind. Right. Okay. Who've we got left? Yes.
Kitty.
And he looks towards Callista. Says, "Yeah, we don't normally bunk females with the rest, so we've got a private cabin for you." And he takes you back along the corridor, and he opens the door. And there's just it's a small room. There's like a bed and a little sort of almost cupboard next to the bed, and that's it. That's the size of the room. He says,
I'm just happy I actually get a bed.
I apologise, I do. But you're the last pickup, so you don't get the good quarters. They go to the people that got on first, unfortunately.
Need not worry. I've slept in worse conditions. Plus, the bed looks kind of comfy.
Well, yeah. I'll see you still say that in the morning. Right. You can store. Everyone can store your gear in your rooms. And ship shores, just don't go down to cargo decks. It's a bit dangerous down there.
Wait, what's down there?
It's cargo, love.
Okay.
But when ships are at sea, sometimes it doesn't always stay in one place, so to speak. We try to tie it down as best we can.
Even the night he kind of looks up over the barrels here, overhearing you, like looking at you curiously, like when you're talking about the cargo. Obviously, he doesn't say anything, but he's just his head kind of like cocks, like, "What's down there?"
A bunch of mimics pretending to be barrels.
Wait.
Aye, mimics from land down south. No.
The whole village is moving.
That reminds me of my daughter's thing growing up in a village of mimics. Anyway, no, just we don't like passengers to go down there, that's all. Can't take responsibility for you, can we?
I can take responsibility of myself, thank you.
Maeve, you're my responsibility, and you're not going down there.
Well, that's you getting in trouble, not him.
There's a vampire down there, that's why. Vampire.
I have a very off-color remark, and I'm going to hold it to myself because this is public now.
I think there's some protein down there. You better get down there.
Protein.
I like protein.
Bro, is that protein?
It's like protein.
It's protein.
Protein. No, there's just it's the hole's guarded at all times. That's all.
Oh, they just I hate
So-
YouTube.
Please don't go down there. Anyway, rest of the ship's yours. We serve breakfast at 8 and tea at 5.
Are you doing taters?
Oh god.
I think taters might be on the menu. After us, Giles. Anyway, I've got duties to attend to. I'm off. You know your way back to main deck if you want to go up there. And he leaves you to it, so you can store your gear or whatever you want to do. If there's anything you want to do.
I stow my gear away, and I still leave my cloak on. Just, it's comfortable. But I do put my rucksack down.
When we go into the room, and obviously I'm assuming Nera have a bed each. I'm just gonna do anything that a kid would normally do and literally just go ahead and just like.
So you're bouncing on the bed.
No, I'm gonna like sort of splat face first on the bed and let myself bounce. And just sort of like go. This room's really small.
Well, you'll best get used to it. We're here for a while. And Vanera just sort of tries not to roll her eyes, dumps her bag under the floor, and is going to go back up on deck.
I whiz my boots off because they're annoying me, and I walk about the deck, nothing on my feet.
Okay, as you start making your way back up to the deck, you hear like shouts from the crew, and they thump, 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 and like with a metallic sort of twang to it. And as you go back on deck, you see that they're raising the anchor, preparing to sail.
The knight changes from his typically uncomfortable and tight brigantine to his gambeson.
Okay.
And but he leaves it open, but he still has his sword on his hip, and now you can see the dagger on his other hip. On his other side, loses the dumps the buckler. But as he's setting up his little camp in the corner, every time crewmen come over, like curious to see what he's doing, because it's a soldier that's bunking amongst them. He definitely gives them looks that they are very unwelcome to come anywhere near his stuff. And before finally heading up on deck, loses the cloak, dumps his cloak, which has now become his sheet over top of his canvas bedspread. So now everybody can see that he has pale-ish. He has his head almost is somewhat tan, and very in thin, fine, wavy blonde hair, closely cropped, and goes up on deck and kind of helps the crew, on deck, hauling lines and whatnot if anybody calls out for help to get the sails going.
Right, okay.
Says nothing, just jumps in and helps.
Right, I'm going to make you do a survival check for this.
Oh boy.
Because you're not exactly a sailor. It's not in your background. So
Nope.
let's just see how well you help.
Survival.
9. Okay, so you help out. You can tell that some crew are getting frustrated with you. But others are happy to just, tell you what to do. Is there anything anybody else would like to do before the ship actually leaves the harbour?
What time is it, by the way?
It is 10 a.m.
Rory would like to say a prayer to Ithas for a safe journey.
Callista kind of makes her way back up to, because now she's just, she doesn't have a rucksack anymore, but she just kind of, takes some ale from home, and just finds what looks like unoccupied, quiet space on the ship, and she would like to watch them shove off.
Okay. So, anybody else?
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Dubar's just enjoying the company of the rest of the crew and sailors.
Okay.
As a drink, ideally, if there is any.
Yeah, I was just going to say. So, as the crew finish and the anchor comes up and the sails drop. I don't know all the sailing terms. The crew start passing around a rum ration as they start leaving.
As we do first set off, Maeve is right at the front of the ship, almost like leaning over a little bit, maybe too far.
Well, I'm the king of the world.
No, she's actually leaning over, watching the bow wave.
Oh, okay.
Daenerys standing right
like
behind us.
Titanic.
The knight takes he takes a little bit of the rum ration and whatever, and the guy he pissed off the most, because there's always one that just starts screaming. He offers his rum ration to him as like an apology.
Well, thank you very much. As he takes it, as Maeve is on the bow, you see the little rodent, I think you described it as, come out of your hair, and it starts running up and down the rail on the bow, skittering backwards and forwards.
Lilith is
What's up
now
with you?
Go on, what was that, Lilith?
I was going to say, Lilith is now watching this rodent with a bit of curiosity. So yes.
Well, if you're watching it for any sort of particular amount of time, you'll realise that it's not actually covered completely in fur. It's actually got leaves all down its back.
I will show you guys a picture.
Oh, it's so cute!
So it's actually got little oak leaves all the way down its back.
Takes a tiny bit of rations to see if it'll come closer. Yay!
How friendly is it?
Oh, Derek will come and steal as much as he feels like.
Okay.
Oh, you've only got a tiny bit. You're not getting loads.
Did you say his name was Derek?
Derek.
Derek.
Shortened to Dara. But he's called Derek.
Its name is now Derek.
Sure.
Everybody misheard Maeve with her accent.
Des.
What you doing?
Dear me.
Just he takes the rations off Lilith and then just stands up on its hind legs
Yay.
and looks at you like a meerkat.
Or like Dawson here. Like food.
You're
Food! Give me food!
Food.
No more.
Sorry.
No. I don't know you. I'm just curious. You're cute.
Derek will probably sort of like drop off the handrail and sort of like go to your feet and like.
Yeah. No. Not working. No. No. Might work on the little one, but not me. I know I'm little, but I'm not that little.
Shall we make her do an animal handling check?
That's up to you, darling.
Let's have Lilith do an animal handling check.
Right, what is my animal handling? Okay. I have got 13 in total.
13. Okay,
Yeah.
so it stays where it is.
Cool. Oh.
Still looking at you, but it doesn't make any attempt to run up your leg, which was going to happen if you failed it.
That's fine. That's fine. This one.
So, obviously, Maeve realises that Dara's just gonna run off and like, where have you gone, you little bastard? And she's on the lookout for Derek. I don't know if I see this little interaction or not.
What's your passive perception?
What is my passive perception? I know it's not great. 13.
13. Yeah, you spot where he goes.
Well, aren't you cute?
Sort of, still looking at Lilith, and it looks towards you, back to Lilith.
Oh, not you bastard! Can I copy it?
Out of character.
Oh god.
Would the sailors be concerned about rats on this ship?
Oh well.
Oh yeah, good point.
Maeve doesn't know that shit.
Yes, but I might be about to tell her.
Out of character, you might find that out later on.
Right,
So that's a
Maeve,
problem.
I might keep a closer eye on that, Maeve. I keep her a little
It's not
closer.
doing no harm.
Rats are traditionally
Yes,
the first bad guys we fight, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
There might be like what we might have a one-on-one fight a rat with Dara.
Oh, but are there any ship cats? Because that was the natural thing that they kept on board.
Mm. You've not seen any.
Anyway, Maeve,
So
I
there
know
are
he's
ship
not
cats.
causing any trouble, but you don't want him hurt until people leave.
Another reason why you should stay there instead of running off.
So
Leave him alone.
Every Saturday afternoon. What are you guys racing towards? Every Saturday afternoon. Well, I'm just out of character. Like every Saturday afternoon, there's emergency vehicles racing up and down the road outside my apartment. Like, where are you always going? It's every Saturday.
Busy bosses.
who knows? Maybe they're late for lunch.
That's entirely possible.
So, you guys, the ship is leaving the harbour. Now, the harbour of Alura it's not exactly on the coast. It's actually down a river. So it's leaving down the river towards the coast. It's a bit twisted turning, but it's really wide. You know, it's used for shipping. Eventually, it breaks out into the open sea. It's a lovely sunny day today. It's gentle breeze, enough to get the ship moving. Barely a cloud in the sky. And the ship, as you come out of the estuary, it turns to the left, which would be port, and it starts its journey towards Bridge City. It's a straight run there. You've been informed by the captain, though. It's about a 2-day trip from where you are. So, before I bring this day to an end, is there anything you want to do? I'm not going to play out every single day because it's just going to get boring. Drink. Arsefic booze.
Shave my head.
I mean, some of the crewmen or our other traveling companions might notice me dumping some of my alcohol on me, just like cleaning my sword with it. But then I take a swig of it.
Good for to quote the Matrix. Good for losing brain cells and degreasing engines.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Keeping an eye on Maeve and stopping her when she inevitably goes for a rum ration. Be like, no, absolutely not.
Why?
You're too young. And you don't need the energy, quite frankly.
The knight keeps to himself and helps himself a little bit to the rum with his I'm sure would put off the crew with his little straw that he can insert through a fold in the mask, and just sits there and staring out at sea and just sipping.
Drinking rum for a straw.
Well,
don't need to make a contract for that. This is Navy rum.
He's not like just like slurping just down in the whole thing, you know. He's just little sips. He's shotgunning it.
Rum bong. Let's go.
More than likely, Maeve is definitely creating little flowers and just trying to sneak them to people's hairs.
Oh, right, okay. So you're actually using magic?
Oh,
okay. Are you doing this on the deck? Are you moving around?
Yeah.
All right.
Going around crafting a little flower, a little daisy or something like that. And just
roll a d20 for me, please.
9.
Right, okay. That's fine.
To get it in Rory's hair.
Do I spot Maeve doing creating these magical flowers?
What's your passive perception? But you're trying to sneak it into people's hair, so I just want to see if you back and see you do it before.
I'm not being secretive about making a flower. I'm then going.
You're all about doing your own little things, so it's just your passive perception on this. 8. No.
You ended with many daisies in your hair.
Not at the moment. As she approaches you to do it, though, you'd see her do it.
Are you going to approach me and do it?
She probably will, because you're the biggest target on the ship.
Right, let's deal with Dubar, and then we'll go to Nameless, because Dubar was asking the questions first.
Mm-hmm. So as you were, as Maeve approaches and you conjure up this flower, I kind of just gowl down at you and just go away with the magic.
Do no harm.
No magic around me.
Fine then.
Kind of almost like, I don't push her, I don't touch her, I just kind of shoo you away. Are you quite short?
I'm 5'3".
So you're much smaller than me. Looking down at you.
To be fair,
my chest up at you as well, whilst I'm looking down at you, and you're conjuring up all these flowers.
It's like an elephant staring down a hyena. It's like don't even bother.
But while all this is gone, Venera is just hovering, and when you look like you get a fisher, she's just glaring daggers.
At me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, do I see this?
I'd say so. She's not. She didn't say she was doing it secretively.
I haven't made a move. Just hovering.
And I look over to you and just say, well, I don't say anything. I just like look at you and look down at the little one in front of me, and then look back. And, what's going on here?
What do you mean? She's my friend.
They're pointing at you two. Are you are you one of these wizards as well?
No. But I take care of her.
I'll leave you be then. I'll turn and walk away. Maybe when Dubar's actually gone to sleep, I'll just send Derek to go and put like 4 or 5 different flowers in his hair.
Alright, we'll deal with that later. Okay, so let's go to Nameless. He was going to ask a question to do with the flowers too.
Well, I was gonna say, as you know, he's sitting on a crate or a barrel on deck, or one of the I can't, that's escaping me. Anyway, he's sitting on deck, you know, at the railing, and you know, just looking out of the water, looking rather content and relaxed. But the moment you come, like when you start, when your hand starts to get close to his hair, he reaches back and grabs your wrist.
Oh,
like,
do I have
rather
it?
quickly.
Do I have it? Sorry, I'm just checking something. No, I don't have it yet. Okay. No, that's fine. Go on.
And he grabs your wrist, and he turns his head and he looks right at you, and like there's this cold look in his eyes.
Oh, I do.
Oh, go on. What are you going to do?
I will face step out of it.
Oh.
You what?
Oh, right. Okay. So as that's magic too, isn't it? Roll a d20 for me, please.
Yep. That's a 19.
You're all right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So as this, right. So it'd be quite flashy. So yeah.
I think we're making a lot out of this scene than I was expecting. Okay.
So as you grab her wrist, she disappears in like a cloud of magic and a little bit of a light and show, and then reappears however far away you want to be.
I'll be like 10, 15 feet away.
Right, okay. As you reappear, give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yeah. 11.
11. Right, okay. So as you reappear, because the ship is moving, and you've never done this on a moving object before, it's like, you know, just dropping onto a treadmill that's moving, then your feet come out from under you, and you fly backwards and land on your back.
Nero will go and kind of crouch down next to her and say, "Don't you think you've maybe done enough for one day, mate?" Kind of like half picking her up.
Well, and the knight is on his feet, and now he's defensive because you just, you know,
disappeared
in front of him, and it's like he's just like he's just
canon now.
His eyes are wide, like, what was that? You know, you know, his fists are up, and like. And he's looking at you, seeing you sprawl on your back, and he just looks at you like, what the hell was that? So he just lowers his arms, just stares at you, just completely confused, like.
And yeah, like my skirt's like over my head. I'm just like, fuck.
Adubar like bursts out like proper belly laughing, trying to like, getting the rest of the crew to like laugh at you as well, pointing at you.
And I will just stand up and take it out.
Yeah, and the knight just turns to everybody, he just holds his hands up and shrugs like, what was that?
Oh, brilliant.
All right, that was a
And
better
Daenerys
ending than I was expecting.
Daenerys just crouched next to you, full on, face in hand, just being like, I'm so done for the day.
But he
Okay.
does come over as you're trying to figure yourself out. You know, you finally get your skirt flipped back down. You know, return to your modesty. You see him standing over you, and he bends over and plucks the daisy that was in your fingers and sticks it into one of the loose stitching of his gambeson before going back to his. It's great.
And that's made with a big grin on the face. Like, hey, see, not that bad for Nira.
Okay, what's Rory, Callista, and Lilith up to at this point?
I am probably at the far end of the ship,
Stand up, damn you.
but she's sort of quietly muttering to herself. You don't know why. That's it.
Okay.
Rory's
Um,
keeping an eye
Do
on
we
the
hear
situation.
this much?
She
Alright.
Very
summoning
quiet.
icebergs.
See if he has to de-escalate.
Yeah, nah, I ain't, nah.
What? Who's got the highest passive perception? Has anybody got like a 16 or something like that?
13.
Nope.
I'm a 13.
13.
12.
15.
Yay.
Alright, I'll give it to Venera. You probably just about hear with your elven ears, Lilith muttering to herself somewhere. What about Callista? What's Callista up to?
Callista was cleaning her sword and just kind of like, watching the ship go over the waves. And then, she hears this commotion. So she wanders over to just kind of see what's going on. Sees No Name sporting a nice little flower. And just kind of, would be looking at Maeve like, what's going on over here? It just comes over and goes, what's going on over here?
Just having some fun. Entertainment.
Rory stood next to her and says, an agent of chaos.
Daenerys is nodding. It's absolutely nothing.
The captain comes over. Having seen all this that's gone on, he looks down at Maeve as you get up, and then you take a bow. He goes, so you're having fun already on my ship?
What's the idea?
Well, just don't get into too much trouble. We do have crew about doing their jobs and cargo here and there. Try not to face step yourself over the edge. And he sort of just walks back off, back up to where the first mate is.
Oh, he knew
steering the
exactly
ship.
what
Maeve.
Oh yeah,
Maeve did.
yeah. He's a sea elf and he's not a young one either.
Mm.
So, I'm going to draw this day to a close. You all have meals. It's fairly good for shipboard food, and you go to retire. Does anybody want to join the crew on watches throughout the nights as you get there?
No, maybe happily starfish.
You don't have to.
I will try whoever's drinking.
Rory will help.
The knight will he never sleeps long, so he will come up on deck periodically and just not interfere with anything, just kind of loop the deck, like the whole ship, like up onto the quarterdeck and then back down and up into the forecastle, and just do a few loops, and then Content will disappear back down into the crew quietly, obviously.
Okay, well, those of you that are doing like this with watches, it goes without any hitches on the first night. Dubai, you do find a room below decks where there are crew members happily engaging in drink. The rum is being passed around. You spend however long you want to spend down there. How long do you want to spend drinking?
How long do we want to spend drinking?
Yeah, how long do you want to spend drinking?
How much alcohol is there?
There are literal barrels of rum.
Okay.
Is under the table.
It depends on how many. What's the vibe?
Everyone's
Not an alcoholic. I just like to
No.
enjoy the company.
they're playing cards, just chatting. You know, bit of storytelling going on. You know, you should have been on the last voyage, kind of thing. Everyone's a bit jolly. Drinks being passed around freely. Kind of a pleasant vibe, I'd say.
Okay, I'll match it. Don't get too drunk. You know, that's not the time. But I'll absolutely match it. And if there's any females down there, I will see if I can catch one of their eyes.
All right, okay. No, there aren't. There's ship's cook is a female, but she's asleep.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Which is actually fairly normal for a sailing ship. Excuse me. Right. So Duvar, you have a few. You don't get too drunk. I'm going to make you do a con save with advantage because you've got size
Okay.
and the fact that you're not an alcoholic, but you do like to drink. You're trying to keep on top of it. So
His liver has a tattoo.
it does. It has a magical tattoo.
He doesn't actually consume the alcohol. It actually just runs down on one leg that he detaches and empties out every once in a while.
The 17.
17, right? Okay. So you keep a handle on it. You get you get buzzed, a bit tipsy, but you know your limits and you back off when you need to, and then you go to bed. Very in a good mood, I'd say, after sharing war stories. Maeve. So you were going to try and get Dara to.
Oh yeah. When Dubar actually goes to sleep.
Right. So.
Sarah's been given several flowers. My son goes to sleep.
Not you go to sleep, so you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another thing, right? Okay, so elves don't need to sleep, but you can sleep if you want to.
Yeah.
All you need to do is 4 hours of meditation, and it's the same as sleeping. But that doesn't mean you don't sleep. You can sleep if you wish.
It's been a long 2 weeks of us travelling.
Yeah.
So
I'm just pointing that out for everybody. So you go to sleep, okay, and you give Dara specific instructions, have you?
Yes.
Right, okay. So.
If Venera's meditating, can you try and stop the little thing on the way out?
Right. Well, we can give it a go. So, what I want you to do, Maeve, is give me an animal handling check with advantage because you're bonded with this creature.
That's a natural 20.
Right. Okay. Natural 20. Excellent.
Maximum of 21.
21. Right. So you get the impression that Dara absolutely does understand what you've requested, and Dara waits. Dara needs to now do a perception check.
Is the stat blocking thing here?
It should be on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the very back.
Sorry.
Perception.
Normal?
Yes.
Mute your mic.
That's a 10.
It's a 10. Right. Okay. Dubar's not exactly being quiet about it. So, Dara hears Dubar go back to his cabin, and after about 10 or 15 minutes, he hears Dubar coming from his room.
I absolutely would snore as well.
Right, okay. So, Venera, you want to try and stop Dara getting out. I need you to give me a perception check with disadvantage because you're meditating.
Oh,
And this will
great.
be contested against Dara's stealth.
I'm gonna get beaten by a ferret, but 7.
Stealth, normal. There you go, 14.
14, yeah. So you don't hear it go out. Dara creeps into, or tries to creep into Dubar's room. Now, Dubar, was he sober enough to shut the door?
Ooh. I don't know.
Unless it has a latch and you just push the door shut and then latch it, so it just bangs.
I wouldn't say like he would. Yeah, absolutely. What Dennis has said, I'd like kind of like go in and just like push it closed. Whether it's closed.
Okay. Alrighty then. So let's let's have Dara do an intelligence check.
Just an intelligence, yeah.
I don't think though. Yeah, it'll just be straight intelligence. See if he knows how to open the door.
Go ahead.
Well, that's why I'm getting him to do a check, because he comes from the forest. A 6. That would be a no. So Dara tries. He's just stumped by the door. So instead, he's just sort of like there is like a keyhole, and he just sticks the flowers through the keyhole.
That's kind of cute. I like it.
And then scurries back in.
He wakes up in the morning. Is like he nearly missed an airstrike. Just piles of flowers at the door.
So the night passes. It's rather uneventful. You all wake up in the morning after. Dubai, you find these flowers sticking out your keyhole with no idea how they got there. Is there anything you would like to do on this day? If there's nothing, it's absolutely fine, and we'll move on.
I'm okay.
Cleaning and sharpening his weapons and
his daily prayers.
Too bad we're
Right.
doing exactly the same thing. Share war stories.
Right, let Nameless speak.
just cleaning and sharpening his weapons and making sure that his equipment is good and wanted. Although he might wander towards the bow if nobody's near it, while everybody's doing their thing, and play his what is it? Inventory. What the hell was he carrying again?
He's so proficient with this instrument, he can't even remember what it is.
Dude, it's been like 6 weeks. What the hell is it? I thought I had it. Oh, there it is, the flute.
All right.
Quietly plays
You
the
start.
flute up at the bow of the ship.
All right, give me a performance check. It's not going to really help or hinder you anyway.
13.
13. All right. So you play your flute, and you do notice after a little while there are a couple of people that appreciate the music. It's not terrible.
Just quiet sound drifting over the deck. Music drifting over the deck type thing.
Yeah. Right. So if there's nothing in particular you want to do, like getting to know each other or anything like that, we'll move it on. So again, you have your meals, rum ration goes around, and you all settle down for the night. The usual suspects going helping out with watches and stuff during the night hours.
Yeah, the night will, like I said, gets up periodically every few hours and wanders the deck and then goes back.
Right, okay. Anybody else?
Sees to their ailments and cast guidance on the people keeping watch.
What?
Cast guidance on me so I can drink one.
Just sit there and do it every minute.
Yeah, just stand there. Oh, actually, no, I don't like magic, do I? So no, absolutely not. Do not cast anything on me.
It's divine magic, Stefan.
But to do that at this point, I don't think it makes a difference. He might learn the difference later on.
I will be drinking with the rest of the crew. And if there's
Excellent.
any females around, I will try and catch the eye of one of those.
Chef's gone to bed again.
She's been spotting you every time she's been coming up with the food. She's like, yeah, she's been trying to avoid you. She's been too big for her.
But females wise, you've got Callista and you've got Venera and you've got Maeve, and let them know.
Yeah.
If they're drinking, then you know.
And they were joining Dubar in the drink.
I am.
Yeah, Callista.
Okay.
Callista's gonna go down and just kind of see what the vibe is.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, during one of his times that he gets up, the knight will show up at the doorway and just kind of look at everybody and sees that there is a fully filled mug. You know, this is like this second or third time again, at least I assume drinking it tonight, and he just suddenly takes it, just reaches out and just takes it, and you see his bamboo straw go into it, and then he props himself up in a corner, and his eyes are scanning the room and just sitting there and just sipping on the grog or ale or whatever the hell it is that they're drinking down here. Slowly. Rum.
Right, what was Lilith doing?
I was going to go up onto ship deck and see if I can, if Dara comes up at any point. But if not, then I will again be quietly muttering to myself.
On the deck?
Yes, but we'll only join for a drink once and then go.
Right, okay. So as night falls proper and it starts to go dark, the ship is creaking and groaning beneath. All right. So yeah, it's creaking and groaning beneath over the waves, and you start to see the stars disappear in the sky, and soon the moon is covered with dark clouds, and you hear the wind start getting up. Those of you that are up on deck or have made trips up on deck, you start hearing the captain. He starts giving orders, and he says, "We've got a storm coming. Stow the loose items, batten down the hatches, and heave to, reef the sails." And the crew start running around, following his orders. You see now the moon's gone beneath the clouds. It's completely black up on the deck, and the crew are running around with windproof lanterns so they can see what they're doing. The once calm scene now turns violently. Waves are crashing against the hull with relentless force. Rain pours from the heavens in torrential sheets, soaking everything in its path and making the deck treacherously slick. Thunder roars like a vengeful beast, shaking the very air, while lightning splits the sky, illuminating the tumultuous scene in brief, blinding flashes. The sails strain against the howling wind as the crew try to tie them up, but they threaten to tear free. The crew scrambles about to secure the rigging and keep the ship on course. The storm's fury engulfs you. Each gust of wind and crash of water a reminder of nature's overwhelming power. And we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
I need the
Okay.
Go to the bathroom.
So yeah, smoke if you've got 'em. Go have a drink, go to the bathroom, and we'll be back after the break. For the guys on YouTube, we'll see you next week because this has been split into 2 videos.
See you soon.